Amakwaba about POG Media. So I'm POG say JBS and I just my Ghana political headlines in B and I just say yes we baby them or highway no so now sounds what me can who the echo and the urban in a my Ghana political highway. So na measure say na dey ka about my days wa and the new book also average subscription now also who the echo and the urban in a POG. So now your boy the Ryan them yes and them pass one I just say yeah any and so at the chair a call time no can say a chama Wontümi and so at me court and so atena no more tenants no mo say say onye guilty charges attorney general and so press against him no na me know ka say bra o free court pay na say yasa arresting now different charges and I say kwadu fufuro yasa dia bona me know ka say yesa on fa na passport any sureties embra emfa medan court no mu say ono so betena kom ha na say ono so assist in investigation and also ebeko so na and so edi anim abusia me say better bread nya bo ede ra Wontümi sense ma say and also aba media so yenje bread nya bo
Boesiako, known affectionately as Chairman Wontümi, has pleaded not guilty to charges of assignment of mineral rights without approval and purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation. Wontümi has been granted a bail of 15 million cedis with 3 sureties. 2 out of the 3 sureties are to be persons with landed property. He is to deposit his passport with the registrar of the court and he is to be placed on a stop list at all entry points. The 3 sureties are to deposit copies of their Ghana card with the registrar of the court. Wontümi as well is to report to the investigators every first and third Monday of the month. The investigators who are yet to file evidence of the entries of the end of month appearance. Bernard Boesiako, together with 2 others, including his company, Akroma Mining, have been arraigned before the Accra High Court over illegal mining-related offences. Now we'll connect with my colleague Lord Edouard, who's in court for us shortly, but I want to run you through those 6 counts and the persons involved in this all-important case, one that has piqued a lot of interest. It was a subject matter of conversation when the CSOs met the president last week about prosecuting politically exposed persons in the country's fight against illegal mining. Here is what we know based on the sheets, the charge sheet as we've seen placed before the High Court today. And amongst many other things, the Republic versus Bernard Boesiako and 2 others. Who are the individuals involved? Bernard Boesiako himself, known affectionately as Chairman Wontümi. Then there is one Kwame Anti, who we understand is at large. He's a second accused person in this case. And then there is Akroma Mining Company Limited, the company owned by Wontümi, also treated as a separate entity and an individual on its own who can be sued. And so these are the 3 individuals who have been accused. But let's get into the charges against Wontümi and the 2 others. And the first count is assignment of mineral rights without approval from the minister. This charge specifically going to Chairman Wontümi. Then the count 2, the same offense really, assignment of mineral rights without approval from the minister. This one for Kwame Anti, who is at large. Then we see the third count, assignment of mineral rights without approval, and that is corporate liability for unauthorized assignment. That as well slapped on Chairman Wontümi. Then purposely facilitating unlicensed mining contrary to the country's mining laws. That slapped on Chairman Wontümi as well. Then this one, same charge, purposely facilitating unlicensed mining contrary to mining laws. That charge slapped on Kwame Anti, who we understand is at large. And then the final count, the 6th count, corporate facilitation of unlicensed mining, and that is the Akroma Mining Company Limited, owned by Bernard Boesiako, but being treated as a separate entity, and so it will be expected to answer for this charge in and by itself. But let's go over to the court right now, where my colleague Lord Edouard has been stationed for us all throughout the morning. Remember, this hearing in this first matter started as early as 9 a.m. when we connected with him. We got the indication that Chairman Wontümi was already in court with his lawyers and was awaiting the arrival of the Attorney General. Let's get a bit more in terms of the details from him. Lord, thank you very much for joining us. And so a 15 million cedis bail, but his plea was taken as well. Walk us through proceedings as it played out today.
Right, Marina. So, like indicated, Chairman Wontümi Bernard Integration from the Ashanti Regional MPP chairperson, he pleaded not guilty to the two charges that you rightly outlined earlier. Now, the case is against himself, another person, Kwame Entry, and then the third being his company. Now, with Chairman Wontümi being a co-shareholder of the company, he represented himself as well as Akroma Mining. So, essentially, the charges were read for him, and then the Akroma Mining charges was also read to him, and then he pleaded not guilty to all of them. Now, his lead counsel, led by Andy Akuffo, he indicated that Bernard Integration Wontümi is a very known person, respectable person, a family man with wives and children, and so it's not something that if he is granted bail, he would flee. He indicated that he's a man of substance. His sureties are on standby. They are people who are also people of substance and will be able to post the bail when he is given. He indicated that there was an incident where the Attorney General indicated that he had to compel him to report to the CID on Monday. But the situation was that it was he, the lawyer, who was on his way when he got the call on Friday to be invited to the CID. And so he prayed to rather report on Tuesday. And so it cannot be said that it was his client, Chairman Wontümi, who was delaying and refused to report to the CID. Now, the prosecution led by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai, he did not oppose to that bail application by lawyers for Chairman Wontümi. However, he indicated that due to the nature of the case, has to do with Galamsey, that issue as of now is the biggest threat to the country's democracy, security, and so it shouldn't be taken lightly. He indicated that the terms of the bill should be such that Chairman Wontümi will not, as it were, abscond or leave the jurisdiction. He prayed for very tough bail conditions. For example, he indicated that once convicted or if convicted, Chairman Wontümi stands there's a propensity for him to go away for at least 15 years if he's convicted of the charges leveled against him. Indicated that by virtue of the fact that he's a man of substance, if the money is not something which is weighty enough, he could get around it and then leave the jurisdiction. And so he was essentially playing for tight terms of the bill.
Right.
After hearing the arguments from the both counsels, the presiding judge in the matter, Audrey Kokuvi, indicated that he was going to grant the bill since there hasn't been any opposition, and then outlined the terms. For example, so it was a 15 million bill with three conditions, three sureties. Two of those sureties are supposed to present landed properties, and then Wontümi himself is supposed to submit his passport, and then his name has been posted on the stop list on all the entry points in the country, so he does not leave the jurisdiction. Additionally, he's supposed to report to the investigator twice a month, which is every first Monday and then Wednesday of the month. Now, for the investigators, they are supposed to, as it were, file documents or evidence of entry to indicate that Chairman Wontümi indeed has reported to the investigators so that things to go on smoothly from then onward. So as we speak right now, his lawyers and then the people who are putting the bill or the sureties are still upstairs trying to work out the documentation. And so they haven't descended yet. This place is very crowded, full, and so we are waiting for that. The Attorney General, I spoke to him earlier. He indicated that, Marina, you recall that in the morning we were talking about the fact that there are two cases against Chairman Wontümi. There's a second case which will be heard later in the day. The Deputy Attorney General confirmed, but when I prodded further for him to give me details of that case, he decided not to speak on it. So we'll be here to monitor especially what the second case is on, and then we'll revert to this.
Right. It's important to mention that there's another case, but we don't know details of that other case just as yet. But as we speak now, Chairman Wontümi and his lawyers are upstairs trying to settle this 15 million cedis bail conditions and all of that. But now talk to us about the security presence at the law court complex and what the area is looking like, considering who is in court today and all of the interest in this matter.
Well, today was certainly the first working day, if I should say, as far as the courts are concerned, because the legal break is over, and so it got resumed today. Now, CID operatives were two here. They were posted at all the entry points, 4 of the entry points here at the Accra High Court. The CID operatives who had their vests on, others were I could count as much as 6 pickup trucks, and then there's a bus, the FPU truck, and so they are littered all over the premises. Some are stationed outside the premises, and then some within the premises. And so, for the number of officials, I can't really count because there are actually numerous. One of them due to the nature of the case and the person who is it might not be.
Medasi, so come home I bought Eddie Raj Medium said POG Media, the Abana Ghana authentic political headlines at a POG Media so pen answer betting Akabi, now also who the echo any the Abanina or my Ghana political headlines, the Abana Ghana authentic political headlines, and the stories at POG Media so pen answer betting account, now also who the echo any the Abanina. Wait, me so slide into the comment section now so wait me dim come on a POG Media brand. Remember, na yensu ababa be ma ho. I said be adwumadi no and so be interactive. You better share.
For that, when Chairman Wontümi was at the police headquarters yesterday, there were some enthusiasts or party supporters who nearly created some form of trouble. And so I believe that CID operators or the police essentially wanted to make sure that there won't be a repeat of that. And so even right in the morning, they're not allowing people to come inside the premises. Only designated people or workers or people who are of interest in the case could enter the premises. And so they did all this, hold on the place off to make sure that security is tight and then there's no trouble whatsoever.
Lord, thank you very much, and we'll continue to monitor the developments there on that second case involving Chairman Wontümi and bring you details of. Also, the second accused is Kwame Inchi. Might have been a slight omission of the W there as well. But we can bring you a lot more stories in relation to the Galamsey.
Tomorrow. But Dennis Boberi is with me. We'll hear from Andy Apiakobi shortly. He spoke to the media. But here's what we do know about Chairman Wontümi's matters. He's been admitted to the police inquiry bail.
Yes.
Some of 1 million cedis.
1 million Ghana cedis with 2 sureties that he has met. So we don't have issues of he being in custody. And yes, even though we do not know the specific charges, following from the background, this is not the first time he's been to the CID. They've been on this investigation for some time. And in his caution statement, they did indicate that he was being investigated for offenses related to mining. So we can reasonably infer that whatever charges are going to be preferred to him against him tomorrow are going to be in respect of illegal mining and those in that particular space. But we do also know that it's not only the CID that's dealing with Chairman Wontümi. We also know that he has some running battle too with Iyoko.
Yeah, true.
And that is in respect of matters that were informed by the Deputy Attorney General, that these are matters that have to do, in fact, he describes them as various criminal offenses, which include fraud, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering. In respect of this, we know he's on bail. That bail is 50 million Ghana cedis with 2 sureties that were justified. It was this particular matter that kept him in custody for some time. But for tomorrow, he will take his day in court. His charges will be read to him, and he will plead to those. And that's when we get to know the exact details. And of course, with the facts on which the police or the state is going to prosecute those offenses relating to illegal mining, as we are being told. So that's basically about it in respect of Chairman Wontümi. We all look forward to tomorrow at the High Court.
And in fact, it's important that we distinguish between the two issues at play right now, because what is happening with him appearing before the CID earlier today is different from what got him to spend a few nights
precisely
in the Iyoko cells or the coolest of Iyoko.
That matter is still cooking.
It's cooking.
Yes, because we are told that he's been investigated. It was only after investigation they will prepare the docket and prepare the charges against him. So at this point, it's still a matter which is still cooking. It's not one that we can say that they are going to prefer charges against him. But of course, just like we were told in the previous instance that he was being investigated for matters relating to illegal mining, this one too, if it comes to fruition, it means that the matters that will, or the offenses that will be preferred against him will be along the lines of fraud, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering. But yes, that's a matter for another day. Tomorrow is basically on matters that have to do with illegal mining. So, Alfred, that's basically what is happening in respect of Chairman Wontümi.
Let's hear from his lawyer. Okay?
Precisely.
And the Akuffo, former Santia Chim North Member of Parliament. This is what he had to say. Take a look.
After Wontümi being in hospital, I went beyond the call of duty to do that. So it is incorrect to anybody to suggest that we have been lukewarm to the invitations from the Director General's office. I know that the Director General works for the Attorney General in terms of prosecution. So I consider the discourse between my good self or my office and the Director General's office as equally, by extension, to the Attorney General's office. So I am sure there was some communication gap that resulted in this impasse. But I want to express my disappointment in the warning that the refusal to defer the meeting. The warning was that should Chairman Wontümi fail to appear, he will order the arrest of Chairman Wontümi go to Accra. Indeed, we don't need to unnecessarily increase the political temperature in the country. We have not at any point in time decided or refused to respond to invitations. And you see, the law is also that anybody, accused person or a suspect, ought to be given adequate time, preparation, and even resources to be able to prepare his defense to any charges prepared against him. And then let us also not forget that accused person is not considered guilty until proven so, and therefore he has to have a right to his civil liberties. Indeed, when we go to the court, the main police inquiry bail continues up to the point that the charges are filed in court, and then we make an application to the court for the bail to continue. And we will justify that with our performance so far during the time of the bail, and also the capacity of Wontümi as a person, Ghanaian, and a very known character, and somebody of substance in society. And then
that's Andy Apiakobe there. Tomorrow, we will be in court to give you updates on exactly what would happen. He's the lawyer for Bernard Ntwi-Boasiako, that's the Ashanti Regional Chair of the New Patriotic Party, and Lord Edwasari will be in court tomorrow. So stay with us here on TV3. But directly linked to that is what we do know about this destruction that we're talking about. We got these videos from the ground there. Rama Smith, she's our Western Regional Correspondent, been combing the area. We got this video of this damaged railway line we're talking about 3 kilometers of the 60-kilometer active rail line stretching from Takoradi through Achim to Nsuta in the Western region, clearly destroyed by these illegal mining and illegal mining activities, halting the Ghana Railway Company's manganese haulage and other operations. So that's the impact of what we're talking about. Now, the damage, what you see on the screen right now, for the benefit of those listening to us on the radio, we're talking about discovered sometime on last Wednesday, October 1, affected rail tracks, slippers, and works at Achim, a community near Nsuta in the Takwa and Siaya municipality, while large portions of the land on which the rail line lies are degraded in yet another telling impact of illegal mining. Commonly, we refer to as galamsey in our local parlance. The destroyed stretch no longer sits on solid ground. That's what you're seeing there. Doesn't sit on solid ground, but hangs over pits dug by the illegal miners, while other sections are covered with sand. The damage came to the attention of the Ghana Railway Development Company only last week, when someone passing through the area informed the district manager about what he had noticed on the ground. That's how they've even got to know, right? And this is the troubling development and the impact of Galamsey. So we're talking about Galamsey impacting our water bodies, our forest reserves, the food that we're eating, the air we're breathing, and now we're looking at this as well. This as the impact of Galamsey. The destruction that has been caused to our railway lines in the western region. And that's where the concern is here on Ghana Tonight. And we're seeking answers to this particular development, so as to find out exactly why this is happening and what is going to be done to address this particular situation as we're dealing with right now here on Ghana Tonight. Let's go on to Zoom right now and speak to Dr. Frederick Addo, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority. He's joining us right now on Zoom. Thank you, Dr. Addo. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, Alfred. How are you?
I'm well, and thank you for asking. I know you are not well for us. So as long as we're seeing this railway line destroyed, I don't expect you to be well. So I'm not going to ask you, but clearly this is a heartbreaking situation we're seeing. And you said this got to the notice of the company just when someone was passing by the area and saw this?
Yes, good evening to viewers.
If you could kindly come a bit onto your right side for me. No, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yes, okay, great. This came to our notice last week when I received a report from the area manager.
So like you made a message so open like and as I want to subscribe to a POG Media they are see a lot about the kind of authentic political headlines are the POG Media so pen out sabet me account so who the echo and the urban in a mind Ghana political stream new messages on subscribe ya average subscription no share no for so and so at me account and some ebo be ya hwa e ye Wontümi na say kianiki e ye dema na just on bet me dema e ye bet me face over more than a year 25 years in prison now bra e ye court e declare so on guilty first charges are a year Attorney General I press against him no credit no and now OP if you court them man just say so no e dey bra care man me no ka say or so e twra ban kukuma ya chene on dropping a passport and a year sureties are near man bill a year over 15 a year million a year Ghana cedis. Sabuja me is about to also 18.7.